All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Summer Surface, and I'm the Assistant Director of CAP. And we are doing the second in our series of blog webinar combos with Maritez Apigo. The blog is, if you haven't read it yet, I will drop a link in the chat here. And this is the second in our series. So if you want to check out the first one, we'll share that one as well. I'm going to hand it over to Maritez in just a minute, but we are here from 4 to 5 after the webinar. This is being recorded, so the link will be in with the blog, so you can find the recording there and share it with your colleagues if you would like. And I will also be sending out a follow-up survey after to get your feedback and to share all the links. So I'm going to hand it over. Thank you.
Thank you, Summer, and thanks to CAP for having me. Welcome, everyone. I'm so delighted to have you join me this afternoon, despite this challenging era and how we're all on the edge of the seats about this election. Given our online and teaching and learning environment, how do we convey our care and our humanity to students from a distance? My name is Maritez Apigo, and I'll be sharing with you my concrete ideas for conveying care online, and also give us all opportunities to share some of our own ideas as well. I'm from Contra Costa College, and down below is my Twitter handle. So I'd love to get to know a little bit about who's here. So if we can all just put a single entry into the chat, greeting one another with our name, our department, and our college. Welcome, Sandra and Luis. Hi, Denise. Great to see you here. Hello, Scott and Becky. Welcome, Sherry. Hello, Danny and Rachel. It's great to see everyone from all over the state of California. Let me just share a little bit about me. I have 2 decades of teaching experience in ESL and English. I've taught in middle schools and high schools, and then I switched over to the community college system. I've been teaching online for the last 8 years, and now I train faculty at my college, the district, and state levels. I'm an @ONE online course facilitator, and currently I'm at Contra Costa College as the distance education coordinator, the Open Educational Resources Coordinator, and an English professor. I'd like to get either a 0, a 1, or a 2 in the chat to indicate how many of my CAP blogs you've read. And I'll ask my co-pilot Summer to please share the links to those 2 blogs in the chat. That's okay, Daniel. That was not a prerequisite to coming today. All right, so we have some people who've read, 0, some people who've read 1, and some people who've already read both. So let me just go ahead and switch over, because I want to anchor our conversation with this 3-minute video that had a really strong impression on me when I was first learning how to teach online. And as you're viewing it, I would like to go ahead and invite you to share your reactions to it in the chat.
I'm a student. This is my routine. Every morning, I get up. I make my way to school. I come here for an education. Seeking knowledge. I'm a student. This is my routine. Every morning, I get up. I make my way to school. I come here for an education. Seeking knowledge. This is what I find. Day after day. This is all I find. Day after day. This is what I find. If you wouldn't neglect me in a classroom with desks and a chalkboard, why would you do it to me in a classroom with a keyboard and a screen? Am I paying tuition for a bunch of notes on a board? Education and teaching is more than a few reading assignments. It's time for a change.
So I see that some of you have already participated in the chat, but I'll give you another moment to go ahead and enter in your reactions to this video. All right, thanks everyone for sharing what you thought about this video. I'm seeing that many of you think that it's very isolating. It's sad, uninspiring, unfortunate, right? Yeah, the online classroom can be a really isolating experience, and why many students drop out if this is the type of experience that they get, right? Where's the teacher? Where are the other students, right? So Michelle Pacansky-Brock is really notable for her work on humanizing online teaching and learning. She defines humanizing as a student-centered mindset that involves recognizing and supporting the non-cognitive components of learning. In a humanized course, faculty intentionally cultivate an inclusive learning environment that fosters psychological safety and trust and forms connections that grow into relationships and a community. My first blog focused on using Flipgrid to help foster that social presence among students. And this second blog is looking more deeper at instructor presence. Humanizing our online teaching is an equity-minded practice. I stand on the shoulders of these equity experts, Dr. Luke Wood, Zaretta Hammond, Fabiola Torres, and Dr. Frank Harris III. They all emphasize the importance of conveying an instructor's care and personal warmth, establishing trust, and building relationships with our students. These are even more impactful practices for minoritized students. All begins with a warm welcome at the beginning of the semester. A welcome video will humanize you and allow students to make a personal connection with you and gives you an opportunity to convey that you care about them and their success. So I invite you to share and comment on each other's welcome videos here on our CAP community Padlet. And I'm wondering if Gail McCallum is here. I'm not looking at the participants list right now, but she is. I just want to give her a shout out to Gail because she's one of the first to share with us her welcome video. I've organized my examples in my blog into 3 parts: a warm welcome package, second, maintaining your presence, and then third, individualized support. So for my warm welcome package, in addition to that welcome video, I also am writing about how we can look at our syllabus and our course policies in there with an equity-minded lens, right? Looking at the language and the tone that we're conveying. We can also give our students surveys so that we can learn more about them and how we can best serve them. And in the Canvas gradebook, we're lucky to have that notes feature now where we can put in our notes about each student, the pronunciation of their names, their nicknames, anything about their situation or that might impact their success. And the next section on maintaining your presence, I'm writing about how you can produce quick weekly video announcements. And there's all kinds of suggestions for things you can talk about there. And these can just be really quick, done on your phone in one take. It doesn't involve a whole, a lot of preparation at all. And then we also can be really present in our online courses by constantly giving our students rich feedback on the work that they're submitting, right? So the last one is on individualized support. And in the Canvas gradebook, there's this message students who feature, which I love because it can filter out the students who you might want to nudge if they missed an assignment, some students you might want to praise because they're just knocking it out the park, or any students who you feel like you need to give them some more of that individualized support, or one of the CAP principles is just-in-time remediation. And also for individualized support, you might just want to meet with those students synchronously. You know, you can have a one-on-one with students who want your feedback on a draft or some project that they're working on. If you want to go over an assessment that they just did, You can also have like a small group of students who you can hold a review session before an exam. I find that these more personalized sessions are more effective at really building that connection and conveying care to your students rather than having the entire class together synchronously. It's difficult to have that personal connection when you're in a large group synchronous meeting. And for my class, I offer students extra credit, and I just say, sign up if you want to meet with me. And it often just gets filled up, and students are contacting me with, can we schedule some other time that it's full? So, you know, by offering that extra credit, it's viewed not as, oh, I'm going to the teacher because I need help. And, you know, it's really they're coming because they want to get their extra credit. And so it seems like a very positive and welcoming way to come and see the teacher. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of fun using Jamboard. Thumbs up if anyone here has used Jamboard before. I see Denise and Edward and Kevin have. Okay, that's great. Well, the rest of you guys get to try it out today. And I'm going to move us all into breakout rooms. And the question that we're going to be thinking about and discussing is right here. How can you convey a warm, caring instructor presence online? And let me just show you what that Jamboard looks like. Here we go. So if at the top of the Jamboard, you'll see this rectangular box. This is where you can go from one frame to the next. And I have 3 here for you. A warm welcome, maintaining your presence, and individualized support. So when you're in your breakout rooms, you can choose any one of these 3 frames to add your own ideas. And we can add them today using the sticky notes. And the sticky notes is over here in this left toolbar. So if you go down to the 4th one, you'll see sticky note. And then you'll just type in your idea. Save it. And then there it goes. And you can always move these around as well. Okay, and that way when we come back together in the main room, we can all look at each other's ideas. You have the link to this Jamboard for your future reference. And then if anyone would like to unmute themselves when we come back and speak about your ideas, then you'll have that opportunity as well. Okay. Summer, did everyone get the link to the Jamboard? Oh, yes, you are on top of it. Thank you, Summer.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Perfect. Okay, so just give me 1 second to move you all into breakout rooms. And I'm going to have us be in our breakout rooms for 15 minutes. All right. Are there any questions before we go? Just go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question.
I have a question.
Yes, Scott.
First of all, my name was wrong. My first name is Kevin, but I go by Scott.
Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody. I forget sometimes. So we're going to each have our own page. Is that how it works?
You're going to be in your breakout room, and you can share your ideas for how you can convey a warm, caring instructor presence online. And you can choose which of these frames your idea would fall on. If it's more towards like the beginning of the semester, welcoming students, or if it's more about
I get it. Okay.
Maintaining your presence throughout the semester, or individualized support.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure others had that question. Okay. All right. I'll see you all back here in 15 minutes. Hey, Summer.
Hi there. Hold on. I think it started recording again.
Okay.
I'm having trouble pausing the recording.
Let me see if I can try. Many wonderful ideas. So many wonderful ideas. So I would like to now have anyone who would like to share or talk about their post-it note, their sticky note, to raise your hand so that we can call on you. And you can just do that by clicking on participants. And then at the bottom, there should be a raise hand feature. And then we'll just go around and give you the opportunity to share. All right, I see Daniel's hand up. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
I put my hand up first because I got this link to the board and I couldn't get to the board. So and Denise and I talked. I didn't actually. She wrote some things down. The point I made is that for us in non-credit ESL, when you have very low level students who have very little English and little or no tech skills whatsoever, what's very important for the warm welcome, the maintaining your presence, everything is lots and lots of synchronous time. And I want to put this out there because when we had the Canvas training this summer that we all required to take in order to keep our jobs, they made this big point that when you use Canvas and you teach online, that it is not completely synchronous, that a lot of the time is asynchronous, and that they're going to have all these things they're going to do on their own. But if students have very little English and little or no tech skills and don't have computers and are just using their phones, this is like read chapter 7. It's like that video. So I'm a kind of a renegade at my college because I'm teaching 2 of my 3 classes completely synchronously. In other words, we're on Zoom. I'm with the students on Zoom the whole class time. And my 3rd class, we're 360 minutes out of 500 minutes a week on Zoom. So I'm just doing this because I don't see how else, this, a lot of the things the rest of you are going to talk about are not possible when the students have almost no English and no tech skills. That's the main thing I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, in your discussion in your breakout room, Daniel, did you and your group talk about how you convey care even in maybe that sort of a synchronous setup?
We didn't go into that into detail, but basically it's kind of the same as in the classroom, which is
okay. I thought that was me. I think we just lost Daniel. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next person, and if Daniel comes back, we'll let him finish. Rachel.
Yeah.
Hi. I didn't get a chance to share this in my breakout group, but it's something I just added to the warm welcome. I do synchronous meetings with my students, and I spend 10 minutes a week on a share out, essentially like an icebreaker, that allows each student in the class to unmute themselves and answer a question. And it's things like, do you have any pets? And like, a gold star for the day if you can get your pet in front of your camera while you do this. Or like, what's your favorite restaurant in San Diego? Or like things completely unrelated to the mathematics that I'm teaching, but just to give them that human to human connection and to remind them that, I tell them I feel like I'm teaching my kitchen a lot of math. And so it's nice to hear their voices and see their faces to remind me that there's people behind the screen instead of just my kitchen.
What a wonderful way to build that community among your classmates. So, Edward. You're on mute.
Blah, better. Okay, one thing that needs to come through every week is that you can and should succeed. And you need to say it, show it, and mean it in your grading, in your instructions, in your scaffolding, so that they get this feeling that you not only know that they can succeed, you expect them to succeed. If they get that message, it really helps.
Absolutely, yes. And that you're there to support their success as well, to ensure that they do succeed. Yeah. Thank you. Kevin?
Or Scott. Hi, everybody. Kevin, Scott, and Gita. Yeah, one thing, support, I stole it directly from after I read the blog, because it just so coincided that many of my, not many, a third to almost a half did not turn in the third essay. And I went immediately to Canvas and did the warm, like, hey, I want you to succeed. I want to help. Well, what's going on? Everything okay? And I got multiple emails, the most emails I've gotten all semester. Before, I used to just give a 0, 0, 0, 0, and let that be the shot across the bow. Something's wrong, but with the 0 and the like, hey, and half the people, job related, COVID related, health, kit, it's just all the stuff everyone's dealing with. And so to kind of break the bubble of the intimacy and say, my life's a mess. I'm like, yeah, me too. And like, let's work this out. And now I'm setting up 30-minute Zoom lectures where I annotate their essay and I record it and then I send them the link. And so again, we're talking about skin in the game in our last thing about like highly leveraged moments where they'll actually click on something because they got skin in the game. Something is pressing and they need to jump to it. My last thing I'll share was what's interesting about that video you showed us. It was like my first response was like, "Where's this guy's backpack? Why doesn't he have any books?" And then there's this like chapter. He's like, "I don't got a book. I don't got nothing." The idea of how it never changes in college, where 80 to 90% of the reading and the work is done in this magical land that they live in, and we never see them. And so now it's even less time in the classroom, potentially, except for what Daniel was talking about. So that disconnect, that distance, that like I'm on a different planet feeling is even more pertinent. And that what I get from podcast pedagogies is face and tone, like bringing the energy into the camera. It's like, it's almost like you're acting now. And all the podcasts I follow, most of them that want you to what they call buy in or act or to act is like they're very energetic and interesting. And it's almost like you have to overdo it to get across the medium.
Exactly. So many wonderful ideas there. Thanks for sharing. Sandra?
Hi there. This is really simple, and I'm just realizing I don't do this enough. I think it's even more important during the beginning of the semester, but you have to do the reading of their assignments pretty quickly, but I know that they like when I make weekly videos after I've been finished reading maybe a major essay or a discussion board, and I actually talk about what I saw and gave kudos, to people. I say, Mary, she said this, and look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this passage awesome? And I'll do a few, no criticism, just all kudos. And then I will talk about, of course, the week's assignments and that kind of thing. But I find that it's nice for everybody to be positive, but also it gives them examples to work off of too. So I know that they like that. I don't do that enough. I'm just realizing.
Great, thank you. I just love the idea of giving video feedback and celebrating our students' successes. John.
Yes, next week I plan to have to hold conferences, and my class is, for the most part, it's asynchronous. But I am, on a couple times a week I hold office hours, and they're in the process of turning in the first drafts of their research paper, and I've packed you know, the modules with all kinds of different videos and different handouts and different techniques and things like that. And I'm still noticing the drafts a lot of people aren't getting, and I'm seeing a lot of really strange things. And so I set up this schedule so I'd meet with each student for 10 minutes. And before I meet with these students, I'm going to have their draft. So I can split my screen and we can go over the draft and I can show them some things. And like I say, it's next week. And so I don't know how it's going to work out. But I'm hoping, because, you know, a lot of these students haven't done a research paper before and they're doing their best. And a lot of them, you know, on the stickler like format, they may just try to make up their own system. And I see a lot of very, very interesting things, and they're really trying hard, but it's really hard to just get that from, you know, we'll read this section in a book, or, you know, it's on this little short video. It's, I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's nice just to be able to, you know, have face-to-face contact with a student to say, no, this is actually all you need to do besides something like that. So I'll, you know, hopefully it'll work out.
Great. Thank you so much, John. I also saw a lot of other good ideas on the Jamboard itself. So don't forget to take a look at that and see what other ideas there you might want to adopt. I'm going to go ahead. I don't see anyone else with their hands up. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to any questions. Lyudmila?
Hi, everybody. First of all, I apologize. I was using my phone to join you first time, and unfortunately, I was kicked out and I had to rejoin. So I do not have access to any links you posted in the beginning. Could you please repost the link to that gem board, because I don't know how to get there. Don't have a link. That would be great. I wanted to ask you, how do you balance being warm, welcoming, caring, but at the same time, you know, maintain deadlines and so on. So in your blog, I read that you offer students no questions asked, 24 hours extension on any assignment. Well, you're teaching English, so I don't know how many assignments you have a week, but I teach math, and in my case, it could be a big number of different kinds of assignments in a very small period of time. They may be small, but there are lots of them. So if I offer students such a blanket offer, 24 hours extension for any assignment, no question asked, well, I teach about 150 right now. I think I will resent my students very quickly, because that's all I'm going to get. And I will get. I teach a challenging class. Students pretty regularly miss deadlines. I do offer late passes, but it's a limited number per semester for emergencies and stuff, because I know things happen. But I cannot imagine offering, oh, just email me, I'll get these 24/7. And I don't think I can survive that. How about that? How do you handle that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So if you want to, let's say you want to have your students submit all of their assignments on Monday, because you want to do your grading on Monday, then what I'll do is I'll set the deadline a day before that. And I'll say everything's due Sunday, but you have 24 hours. And then usually by the time I'm doing my grading on Monday, almost everyone has already submitted, because they had this extra cushion, the ones who couldn't make the Sunday deadline. So you know, there may be like one or two who didn't submit. And so those are the ones who, you know, I'll send a message to saying, hey, I noticed you missed this, you know, when can I expect you to submit it, you know, or, you know, what, are you okay, right? So, and then I'll work with the student to figure out when they can submit it, you know, which is often as soon as they possibly can. So, and I think it is important to, you know, still keep deadlines, because, you know, you're moving on, right, to new content as the course progresses. So it's not like there's no deadline. I think it's important for us to enforce deadlines, but just to also allow grace for students who just can't make that day, right? Any other questions? No more. Okay, wonderful. Well, in closing, I invite you all to view my Student Voices Inquiry Project video, which is the last one at the very bottom of the blog. There, I interviewed students to gain insights on, how the online class experience is from their perspective. And in the video, I encourage faculty to always consider how your tone, your language, your emotion that you're conveying, and even your course design appears from the student's perspective. And think about how you're going to continue to create a culture of care and implement your own warm human presence. Thanks so much for coming, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Maritez. This was a great topic and super timely, I think. So thanks again. I will send out a survey, follow-up survey, as I mentioned, so be on the lookout for that. And as soon as the recording is available, I will link that within the text of the blog at the bottom, so you can find it there.
Question?
Oh, we had one more question, I think.
Yeah, I put this in the chat, but I don't know if I'm going to get it. I don't know how to work this. So there was all this stuff in the chat, links and the Jamboard. How are we going to get that? Are you going to send this to us an email? How do we do this? How do we get it?
So I'll put everything, I'll send you in the email, there will be the link to the blog post, and then all of the other links will be within the blog post with the recording and the Jamboard and yeah.
The chat. Oh, okay.
And the chat, yeah, the chat gets uploaded with the recording as well. So you can access all of that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And then also I just wanted to plug our next webinar next Friday. We have an English ESL webinar focused on teaching transfer level English to ESL students. So if you'd like to check that out, that's also on our website. And thank you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody.